Christianity applies the gospel to policy. Matthew 5:13 through 16. 7. Commercial Christianity is defined by the state. Yep, because they have the moolah. Biblical Christianity redefines the state of affairs. Daniel 4:19 through 37. Acts 8:4 through 8. Just another example. Remember Joseph in Egypt? He became prime minister. He saved the world from famine because he's a genius and because he was led by the Spirit of God. You know what's crazy? Is that right when he died, Egypt went from capitalism to straight socialism, and then they made all the Hebrew slaves for 400 years. Do you see what happens when you're led by the truth, by wisdom, by God, and when you're led by fear and whatever it is that the Egyptians they started doing Kabbalah, and you still see that a lot today. By the way, a lot of people think like sorcerers and mysticism and like it's Satanism isn't real, dude. Like that stuff's still around and has been all for forever. It's hidden these days. It's the Freemasons that built pretty much everything. Like they built because you need to know that they're stonemasons. Their little secret societies were because of their business wouldn't get out, so it'd be like an inner thing, a club. But that became like a bad thing here. And seriously, yeah, they hide symbols and the meaning behind a lot of things in their symbols, and really that's what it is. That's all it is. But yeah, the ancient Babylonian mystery Babylon religion, sun and moon god worship is real, man. Islam, you know how the Islam symbol is a crescent? Yeah, that Islam is really their Allah god is really just the moon god. It's the pagan moon god, and they don't even know it. And that's a whole different study I'm not going to get into right now. But if you would want me to, I guess, explain that, I guess request it, and I'll make a video about it. I've done requests, I'll do it. But anyway, let's see. Number 8 is commercial Christianity is complicit with the powers that be. Biblical Christianity casts down the ungodly powers that be. 2 Corinthians 10:3 through 5. Well, when it comes down to it, when it comes down to persecution, the ones that don't want to die, they'll go along with whatever the government starts telling them to do, because the fear of death, the fear of being incarcerated or being tortured or whatever, that'll make them compromise. You know what I mean? But some of us, man, that are just I don't know, man. That's the ultimate test, right? That would be the worst case scenario, right? And nobody wants that. But the fact of the matter is, and we don't see things in God's sight, but if He deems it worthy of us to die for His name's sake, it's actually a glorious thing for you. But since we're finite human beings, we cling to the flesh, so to speak. We don't see it that way. You know what I mean? We try to settle down in these comfortable lives and not, you know what I mean, and try not to change. Try to go against the only thing that is constant in the ultimate universe. And if you avoid change, you're avoiding growth, because you're not really trying to grow from your circumstances and your challenges, and you're not really meeting up with them. And that's a whole different Bible study right there in of itself. But yeah, it comes down to those that conform and those that they know where the line is. And the line is never, oh, well, you either do what we do or you die. Because that, my friend, you got to stand up to that. What are they gonna do? What are you gonna do when a government becomes that tyrannical? You're gonna just let them do it? That's ultimately the ultimate, like that's the like final showdown usually. But number 9 is commercial Christianity is a sweet smelling savor to those who are perishing. Biblical Christianity is a sweet smelling savor to those who are being saved. Philippians 2:15 through 16. I'm not sure if I understood that. Commercial Christianity is a sweet smelling savor to those who are perishing. Oh yeah, well yeah, because it caters to your human. It doesn't get to the issue of what your heart is, and people don't want to believe that they're intrinsically evil. The Bible calls you evil, man. It says we're evil. It says we love evil rather than good. And even if you don't see it, because I used to be very self-righteous, I didn't see it before, but I was very self-centered in that way, because I was always thinking of kind of like, I never did anything that wrong or that deserved whatever it was, and no, you know what I mean. The fact of the matter is we're all sinners to a certain degree, and we all miss the mark, which is perfection. So God made a plan for salvation, and He didn't have to. Okay, and that's the amazing gospel. You know, there is bad news, but the good news by far outweighs the bad. And but you have to be able to be willing to face the bad news, man, and admit it to yourself and face it and accept it, because you don't, you know, a lot of people these days say accept Jesus into your heart. You don't need to accept Him. He needs to accept you. You need to become acceptable to Him. You need to fit. You need to be willing to go approach Him by the way that He requires you to be approaching Him, not whatever way that you think you have the right to. It doesn't work that way. God is holy, and we have to always remember that, man. We always have to feel. We must, you know, if that doesn't make you shake, then I don't know what will, because maybe you got your priorities a little mixed up, but that is ultimately a scary thing. But but He's a good God, and you know, it sucks that so many people, they take Him for granted and what made this country so amazing. But yeah, Christopher Columbus, super hardcore Christian. John Winthrop, super hardcore Christian. The founding fathers, some of them were in fact Christians. Why would we deny our heritage, and why would we reject it? Moral relativity, and you know, Eastern philosophies, multiculturalism, all kinds of stuff these days. The humanism there's a really thick program, very thick deception. So last and not least, commercial Christianity. So number 10, commercial Christianity is not distinguishable from the world. Biblical Christianity lives in the world but is not of the world. John 17:14-15. We're the salt and the light. You know what I mean? We expose darkness, and we may irritate you, but we're conservative, and we preserve things, if you will. And the fact of the matter is that when you see the other types of Christians, I guess if you want to call them that, I don't know, postmoderns, what you see them is that they're really trendy. I don't mean to be harsh, man, but they are. They're super hardcore, like superficial, man. And I'm just trying to be honest. You know, I don't go to church trying to impress anybody. I just go to church because I don't miss church. I tell myself, you're going to church whether you like it or not. Period. So remember, it's the intention of the heart, not impressions, man. But anyways, God bless you and have a good day.